It's Friday, June 24th, 2022. Couple of things this morning. One, I was walking my son to school at PS 31Q. Um, and I made a note because it's the last week. I saw a sign I've walked by, I don't know how many times, posted, and it said government on it outside of his school building. Then along the fence, there was some displays of different languages that are very decadent in symbolic gesture. I can't read them. I wasn't versed in them. I wasn't studious of them. It wasn't offered in my life frame. So the first 20 years of my existence in New York area or Long Island area, um, when I came home, I watched the video back, which I don't always do, but today I did for whatever reason. And I realized just how white and almost dehydrated my lips looked in the video. I could also see the trees behind me being washed out. And as I walked down a block in New York City limits, which is Queens, how the lighting changed almost like a wave pattern. It then brought me to thoughts of high doses of radiation, like X-ray almost technology, but high doses of radiation, since I really don't know what they call it in professional standards, can show signs of whatever. I mean, my hair is falling out this morning. So much, like a whole handful of my hair fell out. Um, my nails are incredibly thin at the moment. Um, there's a lot of different things going on that I've noticed in really unpleasant things that one doesn't want to mention but has no choice. Then I'm thinking of this 5G network where I've seen these towers, and then it almost cascades out like this laser radioscopy. And I'm thinking if it had something like a solar flare or like a radiological flare down towards the ground, since I already know, but in the Dyson sphere, being an orbital above the and then I was going back to Westworld, had what I called, it would, in nanotech terms, it's a protein marker, and then it's isoco cap smear capsid cap smear would be isodecahedral, um, in marking a cell. And I'm like, all right, so exterior would be some form of scaffolding, some form of antenna transmitter in like real layman's terms, since I'm not versed and not studious of the technological, radiological advancements, but the cellular I have a better verse on. Um, and so I'm thinking of that relationship. I'm thinking of the lasers just going straight, like a laser leveler, which I've also studied in home engineering. I've been on so many home engineer inspections through my real estate career. So laser and construction. So laser leveler, like out of the top of the antenna, going out, and then if it had, while those lasers were out, if it had an impulse of sorts, that affected whatever, or some malfunction between the Dyson sphere and the antenna that causes problems. Again, it's a moving theoretical, but one that I'm trapped underneath in this canopy of sorts of lasers that I can't see because it's on my visual spectrum. It's in like the infrared spectrum, perhaps, is I think how they refer to it. Or it might be even more advanced than that, where infrared may not pick up on it because it may be in the gamma field, and I don't know what equipment they use. So I'm thinking of that. I picked up on my biological um, equipment myself. So I was looking for the commercials in order to run something behind me to reference, but I went through a lot of commercials and I don't see anything on that. I've mentioned it before in my dialogue. I've caught it, I've captured it. It has pink lasers that go out regarding this 5G network, which nobody knows. I don't even know what that means. Um, then at this midlife crisis where I can see my health being affected by it, I've seen some signs of ways to describe what's entailed in this. Some ways that perhaps more of the elite reference it. Um, and then as I was going through that, I'm thinking of my life thus far and what I've tried to do with my children while I had them as a single parent. With Benjamin, I always try to get him like Boy Scouts. Islip was really great. The town of Islip and Ronkonkoma were so fantastic in their offering of free services. I mean, like we paid taxes and they were high, but they gave you some benefit. And I remember before Benjamin started kindergarten at Helen B. Duffield, I would try to get him into arts and crafts at different museums that offered it, like or small art classes. I used to go with him. I really enjoyed the time with him and watching him take part in this. Um, I wanted him to be societally acceptable, and it felt like a safe environment at the time. Um, and then with my other two, when we moved to Patchogue, they lost something, but they gained something. Gained a summer enrichment program at New Canaan Elementary. Um, I didn't realize New Canaan has a very real significance. This morning, as I was going through, I found that they had actually done a commercial that I had missed. It said it was New Canaan Sculptural Trail with open spaces. There's New Canaan Society for the Arts. They have a Carriage Barn Arts Center. Again, I don't know if that's also included in Islip and part of what I had Benjamin included in, but their summer enrichment program was amazing. Queens and Bayside does not have that, like Patchogue had that. For my other boys. My other boys really, really were engaged. They were really enriched. They really participated, and it was really nice. With my youngest, he started in Patchogue, and I was planning on putting him through the same paces that the first three had. But there was some disgusting, I don't know what, that happened somewhere along this broken road, and something intervened. Lou came out of the woodwork, was calling me a drug addict and all this stuff, and then the children got taken away, and I'm like, whoa, what? The house got taken away, the children got taken away, and I'm like stuck in a room because somebody else painted me as something that I'm not. I noticed that they have a parody of It Happened to Somebody Else on this Inside Edition I don't watch, but they ran a commercial for it yesterday. I taped it so I could at least get the commercial and I could reference that because they took my kids and where they were safe with me. And my whole thing is, if you could take my children away from me and give them to the rapist and the an attempted murderer, why couldn't you just have the courts remove Diafrio 1975 from my house early on, so I didn't have to endure anything that he dragged me through or into? I'm just curious for like superheroes and some background work. At some level, it's almost like someone's giving me words to describe what they've done systematically, um, in some disgusting event amongst humanity. When words fail me, because I don't have the words, because I don't know who's involved. I mean, I have some very key names and ideas of who they are by their direct contact that led to specific results. But what outside force was allowing such occurrences to take place, that's where I'm not clear at the moment.
It's a complicated story of a woman who says she was raped and then assaulted again by the system. Lisa Guerrero with details. She's the mom at the center of a custody battle shocking America. Krista Abelseth says she was raped when she was 16 and became pregnant. Incredibly, the man who allegedly raped her was given full custody of their daughter, who is now 15. It's insane. I miss her. I love her, and I just want her to come home. Krista says she met John Barnes, a web designer, in this bar in Hammond, Louisiana in 2005. He offered her a ride home. Instead of bringing me home, he brought me to his house. And once we
I don't want to know her details. I don't want to have to go through mine. But the meeting place that Niklaus was aware of, Niklaus is who I was going to meet happily ever after, who I did not mind whatever our relationship was. He said to go out with Janice, um, and go meet whatever, which I really didn't want to go, but he insisted that I get dressed up to look good for him and to go out with her. So I did. So I stood there and I felt weird. She wanted to go talk to whatever. So I sat down right by the door so I could wait for Niklaus to walk in so we could hopefully leave, because I really didn't want to be there. Waited. And this is at the Crazy Donkey, somewhere Hicksville, Levittown, one of those areas. And then Jason was working, I think, the soundboard for the band that was supposed to be playing but wasn't playing. They were having technical difficulties, whatever the hell that meant. And again, I kept telling him, I'm not interested in you. I don't like you. I'm not interested in you. Go away. Stop calling me. I hung up the phone several times. I even disconnected the cord from my phone so he would stop calling me. But he was so insistent. And I mean, it honestly, it was harassment. And then harassment led to, now I'm stuck with him, walking down an aisle with him with some kid, and ruined my entire fucking life. And here we are at year 43. And things have only gotten worse. They, in fact, came in at some point and reassigned my kids in the custody to him because I couldn't afford my children, because I couldn't get work, which is just really interesting how they've withheld the ability for me to even gain employment or money to sustain myself without having to rely on him. Same man who, while I was sleeping next to him, put his arms around my neck and got on top of me and started choking me. Not once, but several times, which I did report to the only people I knew, which was my family, which was my mother and my father. It is a disgusting situation that I am trapped in, and I don't know how to get out of it. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. Same program. They also have, for the first time at Westminster, a bloodhound won first in show or whatever it is that they say, which I'm sure there's some significance there as well.
Dominic was bullied or that foul play was involved. History has been made at the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show. Though the show's been around for 146 years, no bloodhound has ever won until now. And today he got the traditional winner's feast.
And the winner is?
The Best in Show winner is the Bloodhound.
Trumpet, the Bloodhound, takes Best in Show.
History is made. Trumpet with the upset.
Never before in the history of the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show has a Bloodhound taken the top spot. Trumpet was not the favorite to win.
7 group wins, but never a Best in Show win for the Bloodhound.
This little guy named Winston seemed to have a lock on the trophy.
#1 dog among all breeds coming into this event. This guy's going to be tough to beat.
The Maltese named Hollywood was a threat too.
Royalty and people of refinement have favored the gentle and affectionate Maltese.
And the Maltese giving a classic shake.
And the crowd couldn't get enough of the big fluffy Samoyed.
A lot of Samoyed fans in the stands tonight.
But it's not up to the audience. It all comes down to the decision of a single judge. The 7 finalists made a loop so he can get one last look.
The decision has been made.
The tension is real as they await his final word.
The Best in Show winner is the Bloodhound.
Today, Trumpet was the toast of New York, enjoying steak at Tavern on the Green. He is quite the big galoot.
Goat.
In New York, just so it ties back correctly, it's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. And I still have on my wrist, I have a gigantic, I don't know, is that a tumor? Is that a lump? I can't quite tell. But it's not normal. It doesn't go away. And I don't have a surgeon in New York that I know of that I would go under the knife with at the moment, based on all of the other disgusting events the hospitals have done to me over the last few years.